I'm not a lawyer, but in what continues to be the weirdest trial in history, we got more thug songs played in court today. It's day 148 of the YSL RICO trial, and Detective Underwood is back on the stand. Underwood is basically the replacement for Investigator Dennis, who Whitaker said can't come back. So while Underwood is on the stand, Attorney Hilton asks her a hypothetical question, which isn't hypothetical at all, about a few of Thug's songs and the connection to real life events. Just watch.
And as you're listening to the music, are you in your mind thinking about your investigation and whether or not there are particular words in the music that match your investigations?
It depends. Every investigation is different. So if we do listen to it just to see if we can get any kind of, I guess, maybe confessions. Sometimes it's confessions in music or any kind of thing that is said that relates back to our investigation.
Now, as an expert, I want to ask you a couple hypotheticals. If you heard a gang member sing a country song about putting 100 rounds in a Tahoe, and that song comes out a year after a rival gang member was gunned down while standing near his Chevy Tahoe, and that Tahoe was hit multiple times with bullets, would that be consistent with something that's in furtherance of the gang?
Like I said, each case is different, but if a country artist did do that and that country artist was a gang member, then yes, we would look at that gang member furthering the gang in that particular song.
What if a gang member had a calypso song where he said, I shot at his mommy, now he no longer mentioned me. And there was some information that members of that particular artist's gang shot at his rival gang member's mother's house. Would that be something that you would look at as being consistent with furthering the gang?
Yes.
And permission to first publish 535 Yankee.
I can't play the video because YouTube's gonna demonetize me, so act like you just heard the song.
When did this song come out? Or when was this song at least posted on YouTube?
March the 25th, 2016.
An investigator and an expert, were there any particular words of note to you?
The 100 rounds in the Tahoe, because 2015, the year prior, we had investigated the murder of Donovan Thomas. When he was murdered, he was standing outside of his Tahoe.
I'm going to also show you what's been admitted as Exhibit 12Y, 27Y, 26Y, 218Y, 174Y, 193Y, and 221Y. Is that the Tahoe that you were just referencing?
Yes, it was significant for us in our investigation.
We'll go to the next song while we're getting you a copy. State's Exhibit 539Y.
Another song I won't be playing.
When was this released on Mr. Williams' YouTube channel?
September 16, 2019.
What, if anything, was of note to you in this song?
We killed the biggest kitten of all kitties. Again, it reflected us back to the Donovan Thomas murder. He was a big person for the Inglewood family, Bloods. He was a high-ranking member, well-known, well-respected, I guess, among his gang.
Was there anything else of note to you in this song?
It was a part about, I did the jacking and the robbing. Now I'm rapping.
Next, I want to go to 537 Yankee.
Song number 3. They was having a concert in there today.
What is the date of the release of this song? Or at least when it was posted?
It premiered January 15, 2021.
And were there any particular words of note to you in this song?
I shot at his mommy. He no longer mentioned me.
Are you familiar with what that location is?
Yes. That location was YFN Lucci's mother's residence during the time that she was a victim of 2 drive-by shootings.
Hypothetically speaking, if drive-bys were purported to be by members of a particular gang,
yes, that would be significant.
So as you can see, it was a concert, but it also was the state trying to tie lyrics from Young Thug songs back to crimes which they say were done in furtherance of the YSL gang. Okay, so this part 2 video is just going to be all of the cross-examination of Detective Underwood. First up was Brian Steele, and he focuses on Underwood's interpretation of Young Thug's lyrics and songs that were played earlier.
From your vantage point of what you do for a living, those words mean exactly what you believe.
Yes, it's been several songs that have gotten people killed around Atlanta.
Does any other rapper rap about violence and gangs? And
It's a lot of rappers rap about guns and gangs and violence all the time.
have you ever been to a concert of Jeffrey Williams?
No.
Have you ever been to a concert of any rap performer?
I was just at Usher the other night, but he's not a rapper.
Okay, Auntie went to go see Usher.
Okay. Well, have you ever been at any when you consider a rapper?
Yes, maybe not recently, but I have been to rap concerts. I'm not really into rap as of late.
Do you know whether this type of violence and gangs and killing 12, is that popular?
It is, but it shouldn't be.
Who is the co-artist on that? The jurors saw a video. There were two people singing.
That's another rapper.
Who is that?
I don't know, Bad Boy.
One more time. You don't have to look at anything.
I mean, I'm looking at the name of the person. I don't know him. I just know that he's a collaborator with Mr. Williams.
Do you know that person's performer's name?
No.
Do you know whether any of these lyrics were changed in any way after they were actually sung?
No, I don't know that.
Do you know whether that can occur?
I mean, anything's possible, but whenever they play it on the radio or play it on YouTube or the person is actually rapping it on a music video and you can see it visually, then the words are the words.
I'm saying after it's actually recorded, do you know whether sound engineers or record producers, do you know whether any of the lyrics sometimes get changed?
It's possibly, but like I'm saying, once it's released, the words are the words.
I'm not a music expert, but I don't think that's true, because I remember when Beyonce had one of her songs changed after there was some back and forth with Khalees. Y'all remember that? And I think she had some lyrics in another song changed. So I'm pretty sure this is possible.
Any of this music, these lyrics, I know you don't know who wrote them, but you don't know if they're just art, do you? And not autobiographical.
It can be art. It can be looked at as art. I agree that it's art, but I think that when actual crimes are committed and you brag about it in a song, or you reference it in a song, or you taunt your ops in a song, then it causes problems. Because like I said, I've seen where songs have gotten 12-year-olds, 14-year-olds killed here in Atlanta.
Well, that's terrible. But where in any of these songs, where does it ever mention IF gang?
It does not.
Where was Jeffrey Williams physically living in 2014?
I have no idea.
How about 15?
15, I was a part of the search warrant team. Can I talk about that? The resident?
Yeah. Just answer the question of whether you know where he was living.
Yes. Some parts of 2015.
Okay.
Child, we almost got a mistrial right there. When she just referenced that search warrant, it has to do with the illegal search of Jeffrey Williams' home back in 2015. Mentioning that would have been bad. Okay, moving on to cross-examination done by Jay Apt. And just so you know, Jay Apt is standing in for Doug Weinstein this week and representing Diamante Kendrick. And child, just watch.
Good afternoon, Detective. My name's Jay Apt. I represent Mr. Kendrick. When you were giving an answer about a photograph depicting Mr. Kendrick standing on the hood of a vehicle, you said you wanted to focus on, quote, the crime at hand and who committed it.
I didn't say it was a crime. I said it was disrespect.
Okay. Did you question Mr. Kendrick or any of Mr. Kendrick's associates about him doing that?
I did not.
Did you question Mr. Rayshawn Bennett about that incident?
No, I didn't.
And to be clear for the jury, Rayshawn Bennett is the person who you believe owned that car, correct?
Correct.
He's also known as YFN Lucci, right?
Yes.
So you didn't question him about how he perceived it?
I didn't, but Mr. Lucci spoke out on a pod with how he felt about that.
Okay. You're assuming that it was gang-related, correct?
I'm not assuming. I know what was going on when that happened.
You didn't question anyone involved, but you knew
I
what
didn't
was
have to
going on?
question. I knew that it was a gang beef going between YFN, Lucci, and his crew, and also YSL.
When is the last time before that photograph that Mr. Bennett and Mr. Kendrick spoke in person? Do you know?
I think they ran into each other at Lennox, but that was just according to social media.
Do you know whether or not they ran into each other that day at the mall?
I think I saw something on social media saying that they did.
Is it possible that they made a bet that day and this was just someone winning a bet?
I don't know what was said.
You don't know, right? Because you didn't ask anyone, correct?
No, but the
You're
guy
assuming.
stood on the guy.
Let her finish her answer, and y'all are kind of talking over each other, so try not to do that.
I don't know it, but I don't think they even made a bet because, like I said, it was a lot of animosity and tension between the two groups.
And you wouldn't know because you didn't bother to question any of them, right?
I didn't question him, no.
Why not go and ask him then?
I didn't have to ask him. I saw his reaction. He wasn't happy.
You didn't have to follow the evidence?
He
or
wasn't
investigate?
happy.
Is it possible he wasn't happy because he lost a bet and it had nothing to do with gang activity? Yeah, it is assuming facts. You don't know one way or another what the reason or intent was in my client's mind. Isn't that fair to say?
I don't know what his intent was, but he got a reaction out of Lucci.
You believe in the First Amendment, right?
I do.
You believe in our people's right to free speech?
I do.
You believe in musicians' ability to create lyrics for art, right?
I do.
But you stated in your testimony that you think rap music that depicts violence is popular, but it shouldn't be.
I agree. It shouldn't be glorified. I stand by that.
You also said that there are songs which have killed children in Atlanta. Which songs?
I don't know specific songs, but I know that it's music, the reason for the beef as far as the Atlantic Station situation.
And just so we're clear, what she's mentioning here about Atlantic Station actually has nothing to do with this trial at all.
They were going back and forth on social media with songs and disrespecting each other. Next thing you know is gunplay and children are dead.
You're the expert, detective. Which songs? Which songs regarding rap violence caused the death of children?
I don't know the name of the songs, but I know that those particular kids were involved in music, talking about each other in the music. Then it's violence spawned because of the music.
You understand that lyrics, and even lyrics about violence, can be used as art to depict, to be marketed, and for commercial purposes without being factual, right? You agree with that?
I have heard of that and seen that, but
and that can be done in movies.
It's not a good thing. That's all I said.
Not a good thing?
Right.
You ever seen the movie The Untouchables with Robert De Niro?
Probably not.
Goodfellas?
Seen Goodfellas.
Okay. So do you think Robert De Niro should be charged with crimes because he depicts murder and violence?
If Robert De Niro left the movie set and went out and shot somebody like he did in the movie, then yes, he should be charged.
So Bob Marley singing "I Shot the Sheriff" is okay too, right?
He shoot the sheriff in real life like that man did up in Kentucky, then yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Or if it's like the sheriff shot the judge.
You don't know much about Bob Marley's life, do you?
What do I got to do with anything?
You have no concrete evidence that the lyrics that were played in this courtroom earlier are directly related to any actual criminal activity, right?
I didn't say it was connected to criminal activity. I never said that.
Okay. So they're just art. They're just free speech then. We can agree on that?
It's free speech, but like I said, when you talk about a crime that actually happened and your group is the suspect,
It's what? It's what?
it's obvious that you were involved maybe in that crime.
It's obvious that you were involved, maybe?
It's obvious that you were involved if you're singing about it?
Could have been.
Object to the characterization of it's obvious that you were involved, maybe.
Overruled.
What evidence do you have that either Mr. Kendrick or Mr. Williams actually committed the murder of Donovan Thomas?
I didn't give you any. I didn't tell you that I had evidence of that. Did I tell you that?
You testified that it was obvious
Got
a
me
moment
mixed
ago.
up. I didn't tell you that.
So it's not obvious that they're involved?
Objection, Your Honor.
You're not aware of Mr. Kendrick in any way, shape, or form being tied to or involved in the murder of Donovan Thomas. Isn't that true?
I know he was arrested and charged or a suspect for it.
You don't know if his fingerprints were found on the Tahoe or any evidence in the case?
No.
You don't know if his DNA was found?
No.
You don't know if any ballistics were found that were tied to Mr. Kendrick, correct?
No.
In fact, you're not aware of any eyewitnesses who saw Mr. Kendrick commit that crime, correct?
I don't know of any.
The song called Slime, the song's actual name is Slime Shit. Is that right?
That's correct.
Hypothetically, if those lyrics were released in 2014, before the murder of Donovan Thomas, wouldn't it be fair to say that the Tahoe mentioned in the song had nothing to do with Mr. Thomas's murder, right?
That would be fair.
Jay Apt is alluding to that song being written in 2014 before Donovan Thomas was unalived in 2015. And I want somebody to confirm if that's true so bad.
You're not suggesting that whoever wrote the lyrics was psychic and predicted the murder of Donovan Thomas, right?
I did not say that.
Okay. Thank you. I have no other questions.
All right, and here's a very short cross-examination by Max Sharp, who highlights that the state chose to highlight Jeffrey Williams' music videos and songs, but chose not to highlight Kenneth Copeland's music video, Homicide. Y'all remember the one that was played in court?
Did they not ask you to review a song called Homicide, written and performed by Lil Woody featuring Fagiano?
Never heard of it, no.
Have you ever watched that video?
I haven't.
Okay, are you aware of this song?
No.
You aware that in that music video, in that song, Woody talks about putting money on someone else's head?
Not aware.
Are you aware that the person he talks about putting money on their head is a heavy-set African-American male?
Not aware of that.
Are you aware that the person he conspires with in that video to kill the heavy-set African-American male is Trevante Turner?
So
I haven't seen the video.
Okay, so you're not aware that Trevante Turner played the role of the hitman in Woody's video where
I haven't seen that video.
he depicts killing a heavy-set African-American male. No further questions. Thank you.
All right.